This is Lord of the War of the Ring. I will be watching Game 1 of the 2015 finals between Magic Geek and LordAragorn. Let's look at their starting hands. Unfortunately, I was not able to find Magic Geek's password, so we will have to guess what cards he plays. Meanwhile, LordAragorn drew Many Kings to the Service of Mordor and Shelob's Lair. Alright, let's begin. So Shadow rolls first, putting 2 eyes into the hunt. Magic Geek passes. Okay. Moving Isengard to war. Magic Geek plays a power too great. Moving the elves down on the political track. Oh. Drew the wrong card. So I'll have to undo that and draw a strategy card instead. Aaliyah, sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, moves Sauron to war. And Magic Geek plays King Bran's Men into Dale. Lots of strategy cards so far for Magic Geek. And uses Gandalf's ability to draw. Aaliyah moves into Gorgoroth, not showing his hand yet where he's going to move. And we have the first fellowship move. And it's a miss. Okay, and bringing in Saruman for next round. Gondor moves down 1 on the political track. And the Southrons and Easterlings are moved down. And that's the end of round 1. Not much happening. And Aaliyah draws Dreadful Spells and Rage of the Dunlendings. LordAragorn allocates 1 eye and rolls 3 character dice. Magic Geek plays Guards of the Citadel and reinforces Minas Tirith. Yeah, Magic Geek's drawn lots of cards. And Magic Geek again draws from the wrong deck. Interesting. And Magic Geek draws the strategy card. Okay, so Aaliyah shows his hand that he's moving probably towards the dew line. Although he did send a contingent west to Minas Morgul as well. First Elven Ring use in order to separate companions from the Fellowship. And they all move to Moria. with only Gimli and it looks like Merry. I think it's Merry's. No, that's Pippin. Okay, so it looks like the whole fellowship, except for Gimli and Pippin, are in Moria. Many kings to the service of Mordor. And the reinforcements are going into North Rune, near Harad, and South Rune. Magic Geek flips Gandalf the White, an early Gandalf. And Aaliyah moves in on Gondor from Mordor. Fear fire foes. Okay, Gandalf moving with Merry to the Shire, Legolas to Lorien, and Boromir and Strider to East Emnet. This might be an interesting game. And Aaliyah decides to go full tilt against Gondor rather than going north. Perhaps to deny the Strider sprint. And Aaliyah draws Nazgul Search and Threats and Promises for round 3. Turn 3. Okay, and Aaliyah rolls 1 die to put in the hunt box. Now there's 2. Lots of Palantirs for Magic Geek. The Witch King comes into play and activates all Free People's Nations and is put with the army in North Ithilien. And moves the Fellowship again. Interesting. And we've got our first hit of the Fellowship. And it's a 0 reveal. So the Fellowship didn't make it far. Got revealed in Holland. And now we'll see how Magic Geek, or how Aaliyah responds to that. No cards, so the Southrons and Easterlings are now at war. Magic Geek plays Éomer into Edoras. And the Easterlings move upwards to East Rune. And from Far Harad to Near Harad. The Riders of Theoden. Wow, lots of Rohan cards here. Further bolstering Edoras. And here come the Southrons into West Harondor. And North Rune consolidates with East Rune. And the Fellowship gets flipped. Took a while for that to happen. And the Voice of Saruman. And okay, so the North gets is at war and gets some mustering in Dale. She Loves Lair is played. I should also mention that Dale, around that Aaliyah decided to go full tilt against Gondor because of Fearfire foes. Yeah, there's no reason to go against the Dew line in this case. All right, at the top of turn 4, Aaliyah draws the Lidless Eye and Oleg High. Oh, okay. There's something weird going on with Aaliyah. Okay. So there's going to be a re-roll. And Magic Geek accepts. Okay. Magic Geek's going to play immediately, presumably to move the Fellowship. Yep. It's a miss. Nazgul Search. And the Witch King moves to the West Harondor army. Nazgul moves in the same region as the Fellowship. And Magic Geek's going to move them into Moria. And they are revealed. So there will be a hunt tile drawn for Moria. And it's an eye. So lucky for Magic Geek there. And the Fellowship is hidden by Magic Geek. And here comes the invasion of Gondor by the folks in Harondor. Right, so Pelargir gets wiped out. And Gondor is now officially at war. And the first victory point is scored by the Shadow. And here come the Southrons and Easterlings, heading, of course, to Dol Amroth before the Free Peoples can muster too great of a force. And there's Magic Geek's elite going into Dol Amroth. And Dol Amroth is put under siege. No surprise there. And the first ring used by the Shadow is used to attack Dol Amroth. Both sides will play strategy cards here. A Relentless Assault versus No Quarter. So one hit for Aaliyah. Oh, 2 hits, sorry. With that bonus card. Oh, there's a disconnection. Sync to me. Okay, and 0 hits from Magic Geek. So it's going pretty well for Elia so far. Witch King draw. And he draws Return of the Witch King. And he decides to downgrade an elite to continue the attack. And Shadow plays Swarm of Bats, which was the card that Elia just drew. Oh, wow. And Magic Geek gets 3 hits, making up for last round. And Elia just gets 1. It seems all but certain that Dol Amroth will fall, but that was definitely a beneficial roll for Magic Geek. And Elia is going to reduce once more. Magic Geek gets 1 hit, and Elia gets 1. So it will have to continue with another die. Magic Geek elects to pass, and Elia plays Dreadful Spells. Maybe getting a free hit on Dol Amroth. And got him. And there's victory point number 3 for the Shadow. It's looking like a pretty successful Gondor campaign so far, but Minas Tirith is going to be a tough nut to crack with Boromir and Aragorn there at the same time. Magic Geek moved Rohan down, and then Elia beefed up Arthanc. File of Galadriel is played. And Elia's last die will be used to beef up Arthanc. So it looks like Rohan is next. Perhaps. Turn 5. Elia draws the Palantir of Arthanc and return to Valinor. So there's one Will of the West, potential for Aragorn to come in here. Toilet break, okay. It is really tough. And Strider and Boromir predictably make it into Minas Tirith. Yeah, I was wondering if he was going to move Gandalf and Merry. The regular went along for a ride with them, then had to return back to watch the Shire on the behalf of Strider. The Dunedain. The Nazgul go searching and moving around, shuffling, getting ready to invade Osgiliath. And Minas Tirith gets reinforced. And battle in Osgiliath. And both will be destroyed. Alia making sure that everything is set up so that those Gondor units can't retreat to West Arondor or somewhere else. Very wise movements by him. Those can be annoying. And the occupation of Osgiliath is complete. Now, Minas Tirith. And Magic Geek decides to fight a field battle in all caps. All right, so we've got Words of Power versus Valor. Let's see who will come out on top here. This could be a key battle. Yes, that's a tough one for the Shadow. Wow, 4 hits by the Free Peoples, and I believe only 1, or maybe 0 for... Yeah, 1. And Witch King draw? And he draws the Lidless Eye. Or no, give it to us, sorry. All of a sudden, the invasion of Gondor does not look so certain. And here is Aragorn. The king is revealed. The sun glints off his muddy brow. And, oh, the shadow is moving up to the Druadan forest and then consolidating in Osgiliath. Gondor is reinforced, and so is Dale. Alia plays the Palantir of Arthanc. And there's nothing that Magic Geek can do about it for now. So give it to us, enters play, and then Alia will be able to draw a card. Orcs Multiplying again is drawn. And there are 2 musters left. The first muster, Alia will use for Minas Margul reinforcements, anticipating a long drawn out protracted battle in Gondor. And that's the end of turn 5. Turn 6. Let's see what Alia draws. The ring is mine, and monsters roused. He's drawing lots of red tiles, so that is good for the shadow. Interesting. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen that. Yeah, that definitely warrants 6 exclamation marks and a WTF. Huh. Does this look normal to you? Wow. This might take an interesting turn. And of course, regulars will be recruited in Dale and Minas Tirith. Oh. That's awkward. The Northmen teleported all the way south. Exchange program. All right, Minas Tirith 2.0. Let's see what happens. Both sides obviously will be using cards in this high stakes battle. Desperate Battle versus Fateful Strike. Nasty, nasty. 4 hits. Wow. All right, so the shadow gets a much needed victory here. And Elia is going to press the attack while Aragorn and Boromir are on the retreat. And I'm assuming both sides will be playing cards again. Oh, and Magic Geek elects to withdraw into a siege. And Lasarnach is attacked. Well, that Lasarnach guy is definitely dead. Dale is reinforced. And Elia will muster in Minas Morgul. Yes, because he will need them to take Minas Tirith, most definitely. And Magic Geek buffing up the north again. And now here comes the big army from Minas Morgul. This is odd. And Magic Geek reinforces Dale and Bree. Once again, he is beefing up the north. Yeah, that's an interesting choice to put a leader in the Shire. Instead, it's put into Dale. That makes more sense. And he plays Celeborn's Galadrim. And musters in Lorien. And that is the end of turn 6. Meanwhile, Elia draws Worm with Sorrow and Toil. And Shadows Gather. Magic Geek is over his hand limit, so he'll have to discard. Which is odd that the roll occurred before. Oh, okay, there we go. All right, maybe a more balanced roll. Lots of musters for Elia, sorry. Yeah, lots of Wills of the West this game. Awkward Gandalf and Awkward King. It's a good name for this game. And finally, the Palantir of Arthanc is deleted, although there were no Palantiris Tiri that were drawn, so it didn't affect that too much. And now here we go with the invasion of the Dew Line, the Vale of the Carnin. And another leader is reinforced in Dale and a regular in Bree. The Northmen are looking scary. Minas Tirith is reinforced and North Dunland moves into Moria. Minas Tirith. All right, the epic final battle, perhaps. Let's see if Boromir and Aragorn can survive this. So Deadly Strife versus Mighty Attack. Magic Geek gets 4 hits. And Aaliyah, ooh. And I believe it's 4 hits. Oh, 5. Oh, I see what he's saying. 5 hits of 5 dice rolled with 5. So a bloodbath in Minas Tirith on both sides. And it will reduce to continue. It looks like Minas Tirith will fall. It's just a question of whether it will be this die or the next. Words of Power versus Anduril. And Aaliyah chooses Aragorn with Words of Power to cancel his abilities. Wise move. Aaliyah gets the 2 hits. And there's 1 unit left. And Magic Geek, I think, got 2 hits. All right, he's downgrading. Gonna try to wipe the last contingent of Gondorians off the face of Middle-earth. Great roll for Aaliyah and a terrible roll for Magic Geek. Wow, that's really brutal, actually. And there, Gondor goes off into that good night. The elves have finally taken notice. Like, maybe we should start getting worried. The North Downs consolidates in Bree. And here we go. Magic Geek is going south. Mordor is looking quite empty. Let's see what Aaliyah does. Orcs multiplying again. And he's actually reinforcing Dol Guldur and Gundabad. But I don't think that is the target that Magic Geek is targeting. Yeah, Magic Geek is going down south very clearly. And now Aaliyah realizes that, so he's going to muster there. Very odd question. What does that mean? Yes, think before you speak is a good idea. Interesting. Yeah, here we go. The Northmen are coming down south. And the Shadow is moving armies, trying to get around the Northern Army, but they're probably not going to... That relief force in Dol Guldur is probably not going to make it in time. But the Southrons might get into Minas Morgul. But Aaliyah is in some trouble here. Definitely. That is a very strong army. And he reinforces Minas Morgul. And that brings us to the end of a spicy turn 7. Grand is drawn, as well as the fighting Uruk-hai. Right. Yeah, Aragorn is dead, so his die goes away. If I had to predict right now, I'm going to guess a military victory for the Free Peoples. It's just so hard to defend all three strongholds in Mordor. You could also take Dol Guldur and Moria. Dagorlad attacks Maranan, and Elia will need to withdraw into a siege. The other option is he could have retreated to try to prevent the Free People's army from moving deeper into Mordor, but maybe let me know what you think in the comments, whether he should have retreated into a siege or just retreated to Gargarath. And Magic Geek attacks Maranan. It didn't help that Elia rolled 3 or 4 eyes. And Magic Geek plays Valor. And that's an easy victory. 2 victory points for the Shadow, or for the Free Peoples. There we go. The relief force did make it into Gargarath, so there could be hope. Let's see what happens. The elves are now almost at war, and the Witch King comes back home to help with the defense. Yeah, in my opinion, the Elia needs to be in full defense mode in Mordor, so let's see if he brings all of the Nazgul back or not. And now the elves are at war, so they could potentially go after Dol Guldur. Maybe Elia is putting the Nazgul in Vale of the Carnin to go down to defend Dol Guldur. We'll see. Moria is reinforced. Yes, and Magic Geek moves to Dimril Dale and into North Dunland, presumably to stop any elites from being mustered there. And Elia is going to attack the Fords of Isen. Interesting choice. I guess there's not too much else that he could have done to defend. And that brings us to the end of turn 8. The Breaking of the Fellowship is drawn, as well as Pits of Mordor. That will be very helpful for Elia. That is, unless Moria is taken on the first die. So if Moria can, well, it'll be put under siege, so should be fine. Interesting, it looks like Gandalf actually might join the battle. Yeah, and Moria is put under siege, and Gandalf, Legolas, and Merry join the battle. That's so interesting. They've just been hiding in Moria for months, just waiting, setting traps. Elia moves some Nazgul around. Alaghai is put into Moria. So there are 4 Nazgul, 2 elites, an Isengard unit, and 2 regular units. Let's see if it's enough to defend. Aaliyah takes Dale for free, moving him up to 6 points. Aaliyah is now going to go fully on the offensive to try to get to 8 victory points. Magic Geek is being fairly patient here, and Grand is used. Oh, yeah, Aaliyah maybe having some second thoughts, some regrets. Yeah, it always sucks when after the fact you look back and then you realize, oh man, there was this really good play I could have done. Yeah, that's the worst. All right, 0 hits. That sucks. No card. Magic Geek is going to play a card, Advantageous Position. Ooh. Oh, interesting. Okay, so he's not going to play it, I guess. Weird. Okay. 1 hit by Aaliyah. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong this whole time. I'm just guessing. Okay. All right. So Woodland Realm has 2 regular units left. Let's see if they can survive. Magic Geek gets 2 hits. And Aaliyah is going to stop. Interesting. Through in a day and a night, I suspected that would happen. Moria, it was really well defended. Yeah. Yeah, there's just so many places to defend when Free Peoples has strong armies for military victory. You really just have to go into full defense mode. So Dol Guldur gets a few units to defend. And now it is under siege. And yes, the pits of Mordor did come in handy. So Dol Guldur gets a buff there. A boon, you could say. Magic Geek is going to play his second ring. Why does he say win? Oh, sorry. This is just Brave Stand. This is just a battle card. Sorry. Yeah, he's using the ring to attack. I was confused for a second. Right, so Elite is dead on both sides, it looks like. Servant of the Secret Fire, you shall not pass. One hit. And Aaliyah gets 2. It looks like a Free People's military victory, but stranger things have happened. Zero hits. And the leader dies. So Magic Geek will downgrade an elite to press the attack. And really close. 2 hits, so Aaliyah will have one more left. Aaliyah also got 1 hit. Yeah, it's looking like it is game over here. No card. And yes, there it is. There's the military victory. He just has to hold on to it. And I don't think there's any way that Aaliyah can liberate either of those strongholds. Oh no. Oh, don't be ashamed. I have messed up Free People's military victory as the Shadow a billion times. Oh, I see. So he was thinking of getting the 10 victory points. Yeah. Ah, okay, I see. Oh, and then, okay. Gandalf was going to sprint over there. Yeah, this was like a strange game. Definitely, I've never seen a game like it. All right, looks like they're gonna play game 2. So, thanks for joining us. Woo! And we'll watch next time and see who comes out on top in game number 2. Lord of the War of the Ring out.